بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين لا قيام يوم الدين. السلام عليكم my beloved ones ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, we're going to continue the session on Umrah MUFRADA. We took a bit gap because the rules of Tawaf were many and I had to filter and see what are more relevant to those who are going to Umrah, because when you open the Tawaf session of the Manasik Hajj, so you have about so many rulings, like you can go to more than 100 slides of PowerPoints, but most of the rulings are repeated and relevant, so it required a lot of filtering. So let's see, inshallah, hopefully we can pinpoint the issue of tawaf. Now, before I show you the PowerPoint slide and scare the hell out of you about the tawaf and the rules of tawaf, I need you to understand one thing. uh, Tawaf is the most, I can't say complicated, like most of those things which require lots of attention and lots of conditions and obligations in the tawaf. So that is number one. So if you understand it, it's not complicated. It's easy. It's very easy. And not to even go into the details, because there's a devil is in the details. So number one, tawaf is the most crucial, I can say, most sensitive um, act of the Umrah or Hajj. And as I said, that you don't have to worry about the purification of the body or the attire or the physical defilement like Hadath Akbar, which requires the ghusl, or minor defilement, which requires wudu. You don't have to worry about wudu, ghusl, nothing. In all the manasik of Hajj and all the manasik of Umrah, except in Tawaf and Salatul Tawaf that we mentioned previously. So that is why it's very important for us to pay a good attention on the tawaf, because if your tawaf is not valid, and even the words of Agha Sistani, whenever people they have about more than 100 Q and A's on tawaf. So if somebody did accidentally, yeah, accidentally, we have mercy in accidentally. But here Agha Sistani uses this word, okay, um, intentional ignorance or unintentional ignorance. That means you studied the rules and you went there and you had missed one point. Those kind of ignorances were unintentional, because you tried your best, and if you doubted, you asked. But those people who go to Umrah like a picnic or something like that, that is something which they need to reconsider. Don't go. If you want to go visit Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayha and Aimmat al-Baqiyah, just go Medina al-Munawwara. You don't have to go to Makkah and cause issues which you get stuck in it. So just go to Medina, do ziyarah. We go to Mashhad, we go to Karbala, Najaf. So go to Medina, that's fine. You don't have to mix Umrah with ziyarah. If you are not able to know the rules of Umrah properly, advises don't go Umrah. It's a wajib. I mean, once you say labbaik Allahumma labbaik, everything becomes wajib. Then you have to observe the rules. So if you are not going to observe the rules, the words of Agha is, if somebody did this mistake out of ignorance, okay, is he okay? He says no. If the ignorance was unintentional, that means he tried his best. He could not know, but not negligence. So the ignorance, which is similar to negligence, that is not acceptable, because you're going to do tawaf. So know about tawaf. You're going to do tawaf the way you want or the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. So that is very important for for our beloved ones to understand that Umrah, once you say labbaik Allahumma labbaik, it becomes wajib. Everything you need to do according to the code, the way Allah has prescribed, the way our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasallam have prescribed. So no more game in it. That's number one. Now, so for you to understand a few things, remember purification of the body, purification of the attire, dress, okay? Metaphysical purification. That means if someone is in period or in the state of janaba, they need to have ghusl before they perform their tawaf, or even before they enter Masjid al-Haram. And then so this is purification. If your dress becomes najis, you need to purify it during the tawaf. How can we are going to explain that? And if your body like you touched blood, so all those kind of things which might encounter. So just try to maintain your purification in the tawaf. Okay, all types of three purifications: physical, minor metaphysical, which requires wudu; major metaphysical, if you were encountered a major metaphysical impurity. Done, number one. Number two, the counts. Please do not miss the counts. Why? Because many times, as I said, people, they want to become smart. And they say, okay, I think maybe I did 5 rounds or 6 rounds. Let me just add barakah and not barakah. Let me just add ihtiyat. And no, 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 no. Do no ihtiyat, no like that. Do the way that the law tells you to do. No, don't make up laws. Why? Even if you're in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's house, you start doing fatwas from your pocket. No, different maraja have different ways to solve this problem of decreasing and increasing in the tawaf, and we don't know whether the round which you did was an extra round or no part of the tawaf, but there was a round done, and all those kind of things. There's so many rulings. I'm just going to give you a nutshell. Whenever you are in a circumstances that you missed your count, you have done certain rounds, and either you are missing 1 round or 2 round. Okay, so don't do 2 rounds only, don't do 1 round only. So what should I do 1 round. Now the probability of that tawaf, which was partially income, or which was incomplete, a probability where, because where we don't know, is solved. So what about the next one? He says the if you're going to do 2 rounds, then add on it 6 more rounds. Why 6 more rounds? Because this is very important. If you understand this, if you open the book of Manasik, you'll understand. If your first tawaf was correct, then you will have second tawaf with you. If you were your, so that means the second tawaf will become mustahab tawaf, complete tawaf. If your first tawaf was invalid, so second tawaf, at least you have a valid tawaf. So in both cases, instead of doing 1 or 2 round, you will see, say this says, add whole tawaf together. Okay, complete and add, complete and add. So complete the 2 rounds you are doubting that are missing, and then add 1 more round. Sayyid al-Khuy had a different methodology. I'm not going to mention this because you guys are following Sayyid Sistani Damadullah. Sayyid al-Khuy had a different methodology to patch up the missed rounds. Sayyid Sistani's methodology is like this: complete and add 1 more. So if this was incomplete, then the added one would be complete, with the intention of qurb al-mutlaqa, absolute, achieving the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is very important. So first of all, do not miss the rounds. Do not doubt in your rounds. Make all the necessary measures that you keep track of the rounds of tawaf. In case if you miss or if you forget, if you had to break the tawaf, we are going to mention those rules. But make sure that you don't, because if you do, then you might end up into making 14 rounds, not 1 or 2. 1 or 2 when you are sure that 2 rounds are missing. But when you're not sure, then you may end up into adding 7 rounds. That means you might be doing 2 tawafs. Okay. So this was point number 1 was purification. Point number 2 was keeping the count of the tawaf. Point number 3, many times people, they take their children. Okay. If the child's tawaf is incorrect, you make him do umrah. Obviously, it is not wajib upon him. Even on the adult, it's not wajib for those who are doing umrah tamattu. The hajj tamattu umrah is mustahab. But look at the consequences. If you do make him enter the ihram, you need to make sure his tawaf is correct. You need to make sure his sa'i is correct, his taqsir is correct. If not, what will happen? He'll be stuck inside the ihram, like I mentioned previously. What does that mean? That means his entire life, let's say the guardian leaves this world, he will not be able to get married, or he will not be able to do, he'll be wearing these two white clothes everywhere he goes into the school, like Dalai Lama, Muslim Dalai Lama, okay, as like sari or something like that. You will make his life miserable. Why do you want to make him into enter the state of ihram? Don't make, yeah, you want him to learn something, train him, let him wear dummy ihram. Don't make him make intention, I am entering the state of ihram, labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Don't do this kind of mistake, okay? But it's blessing, yes. If you're a maulana, if you know the rules of making the umrah of the child perfect, do it. But if you're not a maulana, and or let's forget maulana, many maulanas, they don't know these rules, you see. So the problem is that if you are aware of the rules of making the umrah of the child correct, whether it's a baby child or whether it's who has not reached the age of adolescence, yeah, the one who has reached the age of adolescence, when once he enters Makkah, he needs to take the lessons and sessions how to do umrah properly. But a child below age, he doesn't need to enter Makkah with ihram. So just let him get dummy ihram, okay, as a training and learn, and let him go Safa Marwa. But don't let him say the intention of ihram and labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Because most of these children, they make mistakes and errors, and they look here and they look behind. Once he looks behind all the way, he has done a violation of tawaf. And then if he's done a violation of tawaf, his tawaf will be invalid. And if tawaf is be invalid, that means he'll be stuck in that, and you come back hometown, you're free. But your child, oh, really? Child, you know something? You have to wear these two cloths and go to school and go. You'll make him miserable, complicated, make his life complicated. So that's number three, that please let your children wear dummy ihram and go, as long as they have not reached the age of adolescence. That's something else. But other than that, let them enjoy their life. You see, locking them into ihram. You'll have to wait until someone does a tawaf on his behalf or her behalf in Makkah. You call somebody. If you find somebody, you're lucky. And if you are aware, if you're not aware, you put this in his mind. And anyhow, so the fourth thing is, many times they say, why there are like all these conditions are not combined into like together, like 15 conditions? Why 8 conditions and 6 conditions, or 6 conditions and 7 conditions? These are two different things. The first is the conditions of the ta'if, the person who's going to perform tawaf, okay, purification of his body. These are self conditions related to him. The other section which he mentions are obligations of the tawaf around the Kaaba. To make sure that the tawaf itself is correct, you need to put your left shoulder to the Kaaba. You should not touch the Hajar Ismail, not touch the Shadar one. Not so. These are two different things. When you see why conditions and then again obligations, they look same. No, they're not same. One are related to you personally, and one are related to the performance of the tawaf. How would your tawaf be correct? Like for example, salat. There are conditions of salah. A dress should be clean, pure, and qibla, and all those kind of. Then there are the structure of the salat itself, takbirat al-ihram, ruku', sujood. So these two things are different there. Here also, two things are different. One are related to you. One are the wajibat of tawaf. That means the structure of tawaf, obligatory tawaf. That means you need to do tawaf in this methodology. So these are a few things which I just wanted to give you an introduction before we go to the slides. Now, let's see. So obviously, I filtered down to the things we need for Umrah Mufrada because the rulings of Umrah and Hajj are kind of mixed up. So we completed the entering of the state of Ihram previously. So we did this about prohibitions of Ihram. We said we are going to start doing Tawaf. So see, conditions of Tawaf and obligations of Tawaf. So these two things are categorically different. That's why the Marja has made two different categories of it. It's not like he wants to create confusion, so just khalas, make it all. Like some of the people, they say, why they're not let 10 things together or 11 things or 15 things together? Why? Anyhow, let's see. The intention. So obviously you need to make the intention. That means what are you doing? Why are you doing? And why are you doing? What are you doing? I'm performing tawaf. Of what? Umrah al-Mufrada. Why are you doing this? Because it's part of obligations of Umrah. That means once you say labbaik, everything thing becomes wajib. And then why are you doing this? To achieve the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's it. Vocalization is recommended. Having this in your heart is obligation. That means when you are doing tawaf, you are not unaware of what you are doing. That is what intention means. And we said purification from both metaphysical impurities, major and minor. If somebody had janaba, somebody was in period, monthly period, they need to do that. Ignorance or forgetfulness invalidates the tawaf. If unfixed, he will be stuck in the ihram. Women can use medication to stop the period. If they stay in Makkah, if the stay in Makkah is short, then the tawaf can be done on by representation, tawaf and salat al-tawaf, because tawaf and salat al-tawaf requires purification. A woman, she's in period, she can do Safa and Marwa. A person is in Janaba, state of Janaba, he can do Safa Marwa, but tawaf and salat al-tawaf, no. Purification of the body and attire from physical impurity. If unintentional violation, you realized after the tawaf uh, and during the, if during, then purification is required. How? Like, for example, obviously, sometimes these are not practical things. In once upon a time, they were practical. Like they say, change your attire. Like you are, nobody's there in the Masjid al-Haram, you're alone, take off this dress and put the upper part, mumkin, upper part possible, but lower part you will replace one another and one. Oh, my lower part of haram is najis, can you give me another piece? No, you can't do that in front of public. Okay, unless if you cover yourself with the chadar, and then you change the underneath one, take replace this and put and then tighten it. That's, I mean, if you can do it, you have to do it. If you cannot, it says if possible. Okay, if possible, then you have to do it after the tawaf. If during the, then purification is required. um, so the also wudu, if the wudu becomes invalid, as I mentioned, many people, they carry like this bottle with them. Okay, but remember, you can't do like this if it is like sprinkling, it's like puffing, giving you puffs. No, it needs to be squirt, like squirt, like a squirt comes out. I don't know if I have something like that or not, to show you. Yeah, like the soap dispenser, you squirt comes out, like water comes out, not puffs coming out. So yeah, if you have that kind of bottle, or something you can carry like that. You can, while you're doing tawaf, there's no harm to get, not this bottle of uh, you can carry water like smaller than this bottle of water. Keep it with you. In case if something happens, you can do the wudu there. You can just go in a corner. They have, as I mentioned, drinking area of Zamzam, but don't do wudu with that Zamzam water. Okay, so they have that area. They have drains, so you can do wudu there, and the water will go and drain instead of doing the, oh, wait, guys, I want to do the wudu here. Stop, my wudu is broken. I ate a lot of bean burritos or something like that last night. No, you can't stop the tawaf, and nobody will stop for you. And you cannot spill water there and cause people to slip. Choose a safe side where it's safe for you and safe for others, and do the wudu there. Concealing private parts, as in salah, and also women, they have to conceal their body like in salah, but feet, they don't have to cover their feet. Okay, not required in tawaf. However, they require as a part of hijab. So if she's going to do tawaf and her dress is long enough, she doesn't need to wear socks. So tawaf does not require socks, but hijab requires, like if only women were doing tawaf, then that was not obligatory. But no, there are men, so the socks needs to be there. Circumcision for men, most of the men are. If not, you have to go to the doctor and check yourself. If after returning to the homeland realize the invalidation of tawaf and its salah, then if he cannot return, then all the rituals of Umrah must be done by repetition. This is one of the important things. Many times I mentioned that you get stuck in the ihram. Let's say you return to hometown and you realize your tawaf was invalid and your salat al-tawaf was invalid. So you have to send somebody or call somebody from there, from Medina. You might find many mu'mineen there. Tell them, please, I'll give you this ticket for Makkah, and please, can you send somebody to do the tawaf of Umrah on my behalf and the 2 rakat salat on my behalf, because I got messed up a bit and I'm still stuck in the ihram. So these kind of details needs to be consulted by the scholars of your region. Okay, so those were the crucial things. So as you can see, purification from physical, metaphysical, and the dress and the body, and concealing private parts. Most of the private parts are concealed, you see. Like sometimes the ihram falls down accidentally. Yeah, so quickly a person can wear it back, the lower portion. Uh, we have seen this happen to many people there. So what happens that you can just uh, that part you can just go a few steps behind and then continue. The whole tawaf will not become invalid. Like salat, if the private parts are concealed, the whole salah becomes invalid. But here, that area of tawaf, you need to make sure that it is done properly. Whenever these conditions get messed up, you need to fix it and go a few steps behind and continue. Like, for example, purification of the body, purification of the attire, making wudu. And especially for women to do wudu, it's good that some ladies, they stand in front and she does wudu from behind, so that nobody can look at her hair when she's doing masa and those kind of things. Obligations of tawaf. Now this is the mechanism, the obligations related, like the structure of tawaf. Voluntarily, independently, unlike the one who's carried by the crowd, okay, involuntarily, losing his control over his walk, starting before the black stone a bit and ending by passing it, keeping the left shoulder uh, beside the Kaaba, as I mentioned, like in common consideration. Because Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did tawaf on the camel, and how can you maintain the muwala, the exact accuracy, and you are on the camel? So that's why the exact accuracy is not required when you are of the left hand. Yes, what they say: do not face the Kaaba, do not give your back to the Kaaba totally while you're doing tawaf. And if turning around a little bit, because when you look at Hajar al-Aswad, you pay respect, but like turning around like exorcist, like I mentioned, like all the way behind, you see, that's the problem in children. When you make them enter the state of ihram and they keep looking behind and all those kind of things, they back and forth. So it's difficult for those children to maintain the structure of the tawaf, unless if, as I said, you were aware and that your child was aware of all these things. So hence, if one faces the Kaaba totally or gives the back totally, that distance. And we say this is that he mentions, even if your chest was in front, but you were like exorcist, like you were able to put your face all the way around. So if the sight, the view behind, you can see it, that means that you made a problem there. So as long as this, you cannot see all the way behind. But if you move around, that means, like, let's say you have a horse eye. You see, not horse eye. Yeah, some of the animals, they have eyes that they're here. They can see the scene from like the mirrors of the car. You see, they can see, the horse can see the front view and the back view all the way, because the eyes are like this. So they can see front, they can see back. So if, let's say, you got a horse view like that, you were able to see behind, then that's the problem with you. Okay, so should not enter or touch. Movement of neck should not be in a way that he could see the backside. Should not enter or touch the arch of Hijr Ismail, Prophet Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam, the where we said it's grave of Prophet Ismail. It's an arch. People sometimes they try to smart. We mentioned you don't should not do that. 7 rounds connected at the base Shadar 1. I showed you in the image in our previous session. One should not go, because Shadar 1 is base of the Kaaba. They consider it part of the Kaaba. So once you're on Shadar 1, you have entered the Kaaba, for example. Okay, you are in the Kaaba, or you are on the Kaaba. So that's why this Shadar 1, one should stay away from Shadar 1, because you have to do tawaf around the Kaaba, not on the Kaaba, not in the Kaaba. The moment you go in the Kaaba, it invalidates. 7 rounds should be connected, having any interval more than a few minutes between part of them will be coherence. I'm going to talk a bit about this mualat. So this is something which is very important to understand. Mualat, Sayyidi Sistani Dhammakullam says, remember, we said that if you do tawaf and you have a problem, like a previous tawaf or round was correct or not, they say don't add 1 or 2, add more rounds. You see, so to make it a complete second tawaf. Uh, Sometimes people, they go and come back, drink water and come back. So now these are the situations. Okay, remember we said a few minutes. Let's say someone 5 minutes gave a gap. Now he'll come back to do complete his tawaf. Here's the scenario. Maybe his previous tawaf got invalid. Maybe. See, this is very important to understand. He went 5 minutes, 6 minutes, not few minutes, 10 minutes, and came back. So now he came back. If it was before fourth round and a few seconds, few minutes, no problem. Now this is before fourth round, and he went somewhere and he came back. Now, apparently his continuity has gone messed up. The tawaf has been discontinued. But there is a probability the tawaf has not discontinued. Okay? Apparently, but there's always probability. That's why you say our assistance is precautionary. So what should he do? Let's say if he starts a new tawaf, those were 3 rounds. We said before fourth round. Okay, those were 3 rounds, and he left a gap. Focus with me. He came back. Now, should he continue or should he start a new tawaf? If you continue and that gap will throw you out of tawaf, then you are missing a tawaf. If you do a new tawaf, so those 3 rounds were okay. So now your tawaf total rounds are 9. So if you increase the number of the tawaf, number of the rounds, or decrease the number of, this the concept of Sayyidi Sistani Damadullah. Increasing rounds, decreasing rounds invalidates your tawaf. Kind of stuck here. What should I do? No problem. He says, there is a probability your 3 rounds were okay. So if you want to become smart, let me get rid of it and let me start 7 rounds and khalas. Why? No. He says you can't do that, because if you do 7 rounds and those rounds are valid, how many rounds you did? 9. Kiss your tawaf goodbye. You can't do like that. So what should I do? I can't complete the tawaf because there's a probability that it might, the gap I left might have invalidated those 3 rounds. I can't do a new tawaf. Are you with me? I can't add and rely on that. I can't do a new tawaf and rely on that, because if those 3 rounds were okay, then I have done 9 rounds of tawaf. So how to get out of this problem? He says, easy. Complete that tawaf. What if it was invalid? The whole 7 rounds will become invalid. So do 4 rounds more to complete that tawaf. So if that tawaf, those 3 rounds were okay, your 4 rounds have been added, you are good to go. So, but what if those were not okay? Then do a new one, a new complete tawaf. So that means you'll be doing in total 14 rounds. Okay? In total 14 rounds. Add 4 rounds, finish that off, pray 2 rakat tawaf, 2 rakat of salat tawaf. Add 4 to those 3, pray 2 rakat tawaf, finish that, close that file, start a new tawaf. Okay? And please don't mess up in this tawaf. Otherwise, the whole day you'll be adding 7, 7, 7, 7 new rounds. Okay? So that tawaf chapter closed with the salat. Now there is a probability it could be right, it could be wrong, because you left a gap in between. And that gap could be necessary, could not be necessary. If it was necessary, then your adding 4 rounds finishes your tawaf properly. If it was unnecessary, adding 4 rounds are not going to be beneficial, because the tawaf is going to be invalid. But I don't know. So that's why the precautionary measure is whatever you left, complete it, finish it off, pray 2 rakat, and then start a new round. Don't leave that hanging. This is the main issue. Don't leave that don't say khalas, I ignore it, I neglect it, and I do 7 rounds. That means you might end up doing 9, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 rounds. Sorry, 7 plus those 3, 10 rounds. So, and that increasing in tawaf. Kiss your tawaf goodbye. No decrease, no increase. So if you add 4 rounds, again, I'm repeating, if you add 4 rounds to the 3, how many rounds you did? 7. But if those 3 were invalid, how many rounds you did? 4 only. Because there is a probability. So do 4, finish it off. Probabilities, it could be correct. Probabilities, it could not be correct. So precautionary measure is to bring 7 complete, fresh, nice, without any interruption rounds. And then do the salat al-tawaf. So basically, you are going to do 2 tawafs. One is doubtful to be correct. One, say this Sistani does not allow you to keep the tawaf hanging with certain rounds. Unless if you break the tawaf, previous one. So how could you break the tawaf? He says to break the tawaf, you do one of the 3 things. One of the 3. In this case, you can start anew and forget that 3 rounds. Okay? In this case, you can forget those 3 rounds. Finish. Khalas. As-salama. Okay? Don't look at it. After breaking those 3 rounds, making sure that those are finished, then you bring 7 rounds fresh with the intention of the Umrah. Because remember, if you add 4 and then do 7, You're doing qurbatan mutlaqa. That means if that was invalid, this would replace it. But here, you don't need to do qurba mutlaqa. If you break that tawaf, that is doubtful, bro. Like, there's a cup, there's a crack. Now, should I drink it? Just throw it, break it, and then get a new one. You see? So sometimes you have some broken thing, you don't know, I mean, should I get a new one or should I keep completely break it and then bring a new one? You want to keep it like that and bring a new one, you're most welcome to. But will you be okay? Let me just get a new one. So if in order for a new one, don't super glue this previous cup. Okay? Just break it totally, ungluable, unsupergluable, unfixable, and get another one. Okay, so it's like a cup, partly broken. You want to fix it and then bring another one, or you just get rid of it, don't waste time in fixing it, and get a new one. So break it completely, smash it. Anyhow, don't do this with cups, please. That's just an example. So this, if you have understood this, now if you open the manasik of Hajj, if you have understood the concept of Sayyidi Sistani in fixing the tawaf, which might be okay, might not be okay, a few rounds left, then this is going to be helpful to you in opening the book, understanding. And whenever you have doubts in tawaf, I'm not going to teach you those 100 slides, okay? Just keep in mind, if you have problems in tawaf, you're doubting correct, not correct, complete it, get a new one. Okay, clean one without any problems in it. So this is important to know, that either you break it. Now, yes, you are going to tell us about breaking the tawaf. Let me see if I can pull the slides where it was mentioning the issue of breaking the tawaf. Yes, there you go. I don't think so you guys can see the slides. Let me just share the screen. Yeah. So in Q&A session, this is not in the manasik. So that's why it's very important to look at in the Q&A section where uh, people ask, ulamas, they ask, and the Agha replies in the Q&A session. So if someone desires to discontinue the ongoing tawaf for any reason and repeat it from the beginning, then in most cases, one has to complete the ongoing tawaf and perform its salat. After that, he can perform another tawaf from the beginning. Unless if he abandons the ongoing tawaf by one of the following three actions that discontinues the ongoing tawaf, then he would not be required to complete the ongoing tawaf. So, what are these three things? Can we please know? Number three is difficult. Entering the Kaaba during the tawaf. Now, going on Shadar 1, the slided base of the Kaaba is going on the Kaaba, okay, or on the base. But no, the door was open and you sneaked inside and came out. Alhamdulillah, now I can do a new fresh tawaf instead of completing the previous one and adding on and doing salat al-tawaf and this. Now I just go in and out. But let's say if the door of Kaaba is closed, so number three is not applicable. Number one and two. Number one, leaving the platform of tawaf, which is called mataf, even for a very short time, and preoccupying with something other than the tawaf, like after completing the fourth round. Number one, the condition of Agha is, Sayyidi Sistani Damadullah, that it should be this one, this privilege you can only can be used if somebody has done the fourth round. That means three rounds are remaining. Okay, for them this is practical. So to remember and not to remember and going out of the platform, and nowadays once you go out, then coming back in the Masjid al-Haram is a big hassle, or like platform of Tawaf. So there are few restrictions and conditions, you see. So now, what should a person do? So you have number two, he is your savior. So what is number two? Having a pause during the, remember, you can only have few minutes, few seconds, unless if you're elderly or sick person and becomes tired and cannot continue the tawaf by yourself, and you have to appoint the representative. So say the sister says, don't appoint representative. The stages of tawaf, if you can do it by yourself, you have to do it. If you cannot do it by yourself, appoint a representative. Okay. But if you can do it on wheelchair, then do it on wheelchair. So there are three stages. Remember this. This is very important for you to understand. There are three stages of tawaf. If you can do it, do it. Even if you have to leave some gap of rest in every round, like elderly people, sick ones, do it. That is forgiven for you, but not for the guy who's hoarse, okay? No, the guy who's weak and sick, he needs to rest. Even in every round, he has to rest like a few seconds or few minutes. My son's chari gai chana, this and that, my breath has been. So let your auntie or your grandmother or grandfather, whatever, rest a bit, and then once his breath is stable, you don't want him to get a heart attack there or something like that. For them, this is an exceptional case to give a few minutes of rest or pause. Once they are ready, they continue. But for normal people, no, continue. No pauses allowed in between the rounds of the tawaf, and or in between each round of tawaf. Pause, no. A few minutes, okay, but not more than 3 minutes or 2 minutes. Okay, so the few minutes also is sometimes problematic. Just continue doing tawaf, unless if you really want to rest and you get exhausted. Those are very rare exceptional cases. And for elderly and sick ones, that's fine. Coming back, number one, do your tawaf by yourself. What if my wife, she has period? Okay, she can't. So, and we have to leave tomorrow, or after 2 days, we have to leave, and she will not be pure from her period. So can she make me her representative? Yes, she can. But what if she can have medication and stop her period without any harm? Then she has to do that. Take medication. Do on wheelchair before you think of representing somebody. So what about if I come to my hometown and I realize that my tawaf was messed up? What about that? No problem. You can't go back, then representative. So representative is not like just, okay, kindly do the tawaf on my behalf. It's not like that. Wajibat, in obligations, in tawaf or sa'i, the representation comes on last solution. If you're not able to do by yourself, if you're not able to do by the help of someone, if you're not able to do by the help of any medication, like you're tired and exhausted, and you say the only way I can now complete is by drinking Monster or Red Cow or whatever bulls or whatever things. I'm not making advertisement. I have problem with these drinks, but if you don't have any problems, you drink. You don't find any religious problems there or any issues there, it's up to you. But for me, I avoid these kind of things because they have health problems as well, beside whatever junk they have kept inside, we don't know, but health problems are there for sure. So if you are going to take one of those monster drink and you are going to be able to do tawaf and it's not going to be harmful for you, then complete your tawaf by yourself before making somebody representative. So because after fourth round, if you become tired, you can tell somebody, please, can you do tawaf on my behalf? I can't complete. If you can uh, buy Monster or whatever drinks, do it by yourself, as long as it's not harmful. So performing the tawaf, self tawaf, is the obligation. If you even if you have to go by medication, unharmful, seriously unharmful, or by wheelchair, or by that, you do by yourself and let somebody push the wheelchair. If worst case was you're like a person became unconscious, okay, or something like that, then the guardian or the one who has been given prior representation can complete that tawaf, or somebody, as I mentioned, in hometown. So this needs to be clear that these are stages for representation of tawaf. And in case of Safa and Marwa, wheelchair, many times they don't allow you to do wheelchair down. Safa and Marwa on the top floor invalidates your sa'i. So that means to say this is Tanida Mudullah. That means you will have to do the sa'i for your elderly person or sick person by yourself, taking representation, and make a sa'i with them just to let them have the sensation that they did sa'i. But their sa'i will be problematic because it's the like, let me show you some illustration. I just saw some of the rules of Agha Sistani, which I was not aware of, about the Kaaba. You see, there's always an argument, the tawaf on the second level. I'm not going to go to the first level or second level. Let me see. I have written it here, the height of the Kaaba. Okay. So let's say, yeah, I got it. Let's say the height of the Kaaba is about 13 meters. Just had to do Mullah Google on this. So if you want to make sure, you also can make sure. Maybe the website I got was not giving me accuracy. Okay. And you see in the side of the Masjid al-Haram, sorry for my message drawing, I think I can do better. So they have one level, this level, where you can see people on wheelchair, they do tawaf. Okay. This is okay. Why? Even though the round will be bigger, no problem. This is okay. If you have elderly, sick people, and they realize this, so they made this kind of thing, this level is okay to do tawaf. Okay, because as long as there's no obstacle in front, it will give you a circular movement on that level. So this level is okay. This is called Mizanian level, for example. Then there is this upper level. Level 1, level 2, I'm not going to speak. Then people, oh, you said level 1, we can do tawaf. We did tawaf from here. Baba, I don't know, this is level 1 or this is Mizanian, this is level 1 or level 2. That's why I'm not going to give you any numbers of levels. Okay. I can easily say this is like a Mizanian because you can stand here. This is the ground of the tawaf. You can stand here and you can give something to somebody you want to give something. So it's not so high. So this one is acceptable. And then there's one level all the way here, like a rooftop or something like that. Okay. Uh, there's one level here. And then there is this. These are important because nowadays they don't let you go without ihram on the ground floor. And in case if you are deciding to do dua Joshan Kabir, okay, in your tawaf, then that would be something nice to do in this case. In this case. Not on this one. Okay. So this is one level. Here, tawaf is not valid. Here it's valid. Here it's valid. Why? Because this is close to the top of Tawaf. So I try to find out, okay, this level is 12 meters from the ground. What does that mean? That means double check, okay? But Mizanian, okay. But this one, if you want to do tawaf away from the crowd and to want to enjoy your tawaf, okay, double check. Say this is 1 meter difference, okay? According to what I found, you may find differently. So what happens? Say this is then it says this area. If it is shibr about the Kaaba, you know what shibr? Span. Okay? If it is one span about the Kaaba, you can do tawaf from this level. So this seems to be 1 meter, not one span, like you have about maybe 15 spans in it. Okay? One span, shibr. This is called shibr. So it says if the level above the Kaaba or level the second level or the third level, one first level, whatever level, is above the Kaaba, you can't. If it's below the Kaaba, one span, you can. Because when you're walking, you at least your foot is in the level of Kaaba doing the tawaf. Okay? So this is the concept of the upper level. If this is understood, then let me tell you why Safa and Marwa not. Because Mount Safa and Mount Marwa, obviously they're inside here, inside there. There's the Mount Marwa, and then there's this Mount Safa. Okay. So definitely the level, this level is higher than Safa. So that's why the sa'i cannot be done from this level. So these are some technical things you need to keep in mind in case if it's crowded or something, then you can go. Now there's only one problem, since I'm telling you this, there's only one problem here, which is what? Which is the Maqam Ibrahim, station of Prophet Ibrahim. Let's say you are doing tawaf here. So you will have to go all the way down the stairs and cross the crowd. And if you are wearing the ihram or something like that, then you do. You need to make sure that this time which you are going to take to pray 2 rakat is less than 10 minutes after completing the tawaf. You can do tawaf on this level as long as the Kaaba is one span above your feet, okay? You can do. But will you be able to come in the place where they pray 2 rakat of tawaf or not in less than 10 minutes? If so, perfect. But don't expect with elderly, with wheelchair, doing tawaf, enjoying his time here. Recommended tawaf, okay. Recommended tawaf, you can pray wherever you want. But we are talking about wajib tawaf. Will you be able to come here, from here? Unless if you have Tayyul Ard or Superman or Flash or something like that. But on speaking realistically, if you're a fast walker, and the coast was clear, yes, there is possibility. Okay, because where on the top floor you are going to complete the tawaf where the Hajar al-Aswad is. So if there is a staircase, because you completed your 7th round on the top floor, if there is a staircase beside this and you come down, then yes, I've not examined this because just today I discovered this height issue, and I thought I would share it with you guys, because sometimes people, they like to enjoy long tawaf because they're ibadat and they want to open Dua Joshan al-Kabir and they want to do tawaf. And some of them, they want to open the Quran and they want to finish one sipara around the tawaf. It takes 1 hour, maybe 1.5 hours up, but Dua Joshan al-Kabir is 1.5 hours. So they want to enjoy rather than crowd and be pushed here and pushed there and those kind of things. They want to enjoy mustahab tawaf, that's fine. But wajib tawaf, you may want to make sure that you'll be down in less than 10 minutes. So now, if you got this, so breaking the tawaf, we were talking about breaking the tawaf. Remember, that's what the troubleshooter. How can I just break my previous unfinished tawaf, which I don't know, should I complete it and add 7, or should I? So just get rid of that tawaf. So how should I get rid of the tawaf? That's what we were mentioning. So if you have done, um, yeah, I was going to show you the platform of tawaf, so that on that we can do some practical things. So first of all, know this rules. So leaving the platform of tawaf, this is good for what? For the person who has completed the 4th round. He goes out of the tawaf area and comes back. Now the question is, what is out of the tawaf area? Most of the Masjid Haram under the shaded area has become tawaf area. So the only way you can be sure that you have left the platform of tawaf, if you exit all the way, as they say in Swahili, kabisa, out of the Masjid al-Haram. Then no people doing tawaf outside of Masjid al-Haram. Or inside of the Masjid al-Haram in a new expanded area where there is no circle around. I'm going to show that. So that is number one. So number one, anyway, it's a bit what they say, it has to be after the 4th round, and then it has to be leaving the mataf, the platform of tawaf. Number two, however, is the easiest solution. Having a pause, have it during tawaf, that breaks the commonly considered continuity condition required for tawaf, required in the validity of tawaf. Even if the area of tawaf, even if the area of tawaf was not abandoned, nor was there a preoccupancy. Just leaving a big gap, khalas, kiss your previous unfinished tawaf goodbye. Now let me show you the platform of tawaf back again to apply this rule on the platform. See, this is what I did. I tried to find out on the Saudi website the height of so it says about 10 meters, some said about 12 meters. However, the Kaaba is 13.1 meter, 13-meter high. So 13-meter high, if it was 10 meters, it's higher. If it was 12 meters, 1 meter higher. So this is what was came to me through that, for people wanting to do tawaf from the upper level. So these are all the slides. I'm not going to teach you all these slides because there are plenty. Platform of tawaf. Good. So if you can see the first one, exiting the platform of tawaf and preoccupying with something which doesn't make you common in doing tawaf in common consideration. Or so this was once upon a time platform of tawaf. I hope you can see this, okay? Now, and there were some obstacles here that you could not complete around, okay? For sure here, there are obstacles, okay? So this is Safa and Marwa. This is not even part of Masjid al-Haram, where a woman in period can go in Safa Marwa, person in Janaba can go there. Then they remove these obstacles. Let's remove it decently, the way. So what happens that this whole area, this is Hajar al-Aswad. So this is platform of Tawaf. This is platform of Tawaf. This whole thing is platform of Tawaf. As long as you don't go into Safa and Marwa area. Okay? And they further expanded. So this whole area became platform of Tawaf. Now, if you come to a place here in expansion where there are things which prevent you to make circle around, that is not platform of Tawaf, definitely. Because you need to have a circular room around, under the mosque, under the shaded area. You need to have a circular around the Kaaba, which nothing stops you. Like, for example, this is definitely not mataf. So a person can come in this expanded area because there is no circulation. If you come direct to the circulation, you'll be out of the Kaaba. Okay? So this is what I mean by mataf. Mataf, area of tawaf, which is what? Which is this portion. Nowadays, this portion where there are no obstacles see, this is an obstacle here. So this is an obstacle. This is not tawaf. So any area which gives you a circular movement around the Kaaba, that is your mataf. Exiting this area kisses your previous leftover tawaf goodbye. So you can come in this area and preoccupy yourself with like chatting or something like that, of calling or watching something on your cell phone, something, do something which makes you not doing tawaf anymore. Finish. You exit and then you come back all the way to beside Hajj al-Aswad, start your round. This is solution number one. Instead of completing and doing a 7 round, just get out here and finish your previous tawaf. Or you don't need to go there. This is for the person who has done 4 rounds. But if you are not done 4 rounds, you have done 2 rounds, 3 rounds, and you have to do 4 more and then 7 more, then the solution is in the platform of tawaf, just give a pause, break here in this area, wherever you are, here, even here. You don't want to continue this tawaf, khalas. So come aside, chat with somebody, do something, give a pause, like 10 minutes pause, and then start your tawaf back again. Finish. Problem solved. No need to redo and still the recommended precaution is always there, but it's not an obligation or obligatory precaution when you do this kind of thing. So again, because this is important, because many times people they ask, what should I do? I don't know. I did this and I went to get water, drink water, or do wudu. I came back and now so it's a before 4th round, after 4th round. If before 4th round, complete the previous round and add a new one, and if after 4th round just complete. So I can't do complete and then do 7. I'm tired and exhausted. Khalas, sit there 10 minutes and just rest and relax. And if you want to talk with somebody, chat with somebody, call your mom on phone, or let her do some ziyarat of Kaaba, and then go. Khalas. Do both things. Give a gap, preoccupy yourself with something other than tawaf. Finish. And do a new round, whole new round. So this is a solution for people who, so in a lots of more than 100 rulings of Agha Sistani, that complete and do another one, complete, pray 2 rakat, do another one, complete. Unless if you break the tawaf, then that breaking the tawaf happens by one of the 3 things. And this is the easiest thing you have here in this slide. Yeah. So if someone encounters najasat, they have to purify themselves. They purify themselves and come back. If someone broke the wudu, come back, then here's the question. So let me show you the summary of the chart, this one. And we are done. We are done for today. I'm going to just, because the rulings are plenty, I just wanted to give you how to understand the troubleshooting of the problem in Tawaf. And then the conditions, you will see another sheikhs have also given a lot of conditions and lots of sessions. But my problem was this, which I face, because sheikhs, they don't touch this thing. And then the people, they get confused and they don't find a sheikh there. The issues happen. So that's why for me, this is very important for our mu'mineen to understand how to solve these problems, which Agha Sistani says complete and repeat, complete, pray 2 rakat, repeat, and 2 rakat. So how to solve it? So let's say consistency in the case of if you want to break your tawaf and redo, then make sure you break the consistency. Wait for more than 10 minutes gap or exit the tawaf area, like go to Mount Safa. Remember, Mount Safa is not tawaf area, or the new areas expansions. Platform of tawaf, returning is not sufficient to break the tawaf. You go out and come back. No, do something which preoccupy with something which breaks the tawaf. That means you are not doing tawaf. And redo it entirely, because the previous tawaf might be hanging and a new tawaf would add on previous one and make it more than 7 rounds. Hence, your new tawaf would be invalid because you built upon it more rounds. Okay. So unnecessary. So there are three scenarios. One scenario is unnecessary uh, interruptions. Another, forgetting rounds. Third one is doubts in the numbers of the rounds. Doubts in the numbers of the rounds. So unnecessary. Let's take one by one, and we're done. Then, if you want to, we can have Q&A session. Okay. Unnecessary interruption. If before completing, remember, Ayatollah Sistani is the criteria, fourth round. Fourth round is the correct. Other Maraja, they have some other three and a half of the tawaf, between half and fourth round, and after fourth round. See, the Sistani has made it easy. 4 or none. So completed fourth round. So what happens here? Unnecessary interruption. If the unnecessary interruption, that means you did not need to break your tawaf. Why did you break your tawaf? It was unnecessary. Okay. So in this case, if it was before fourth round, redo the entire tawaf. You interrupted your tawaf unnecessarily. After fourth round, complete it and redo it. Because once you do 4 rounds, your tawaf is almost done. You have passed half. Half is 3.5 rounds. So you have passed half, 4 round done. That means you're almost done. So your tawaf may be hanging. So complete it and redo it. Unless if you break the consistency, then you do a new tawaf. But remember, most of these masail, after fourth round, things happen. The issue comes, complete and redo. Before fourth round, most of the cases, redo it. Okay, so this was unnecessary. You don't have to break it. You just, he says, let me call my mom. Call her afterwards. Why now? I just miss her now. I feel, yeah, do it after the. It's not necessary to call her now unless if it was an emergency. Yeah. So that goes under the compelled one. What if it was compelled interruption? You are dizzy. You got like some kind of issue. You are compelled to break the round, or for wudu, or for some necessary issue. Before completing fourth round, kiss your tawaf goodbye. That means redo the new one. After fourth round, it will be valid because it was necessary to break. And you had completed fourth round, 4 rounds, fourth round. So that means you're almost done. What about salat? So they make you stop and then half an hour takes until they start the salat, and it's difficult to do tawaf. First of all, don't choose times where salat might encounter. If you're doing umrah, remember you need to keep a 3 hours time minimum, if not more, to perform your tawaf, because of the exits and entries the way they have made now to organize the system, which is good in a way. So therefore, you might take just like half an hour just to enter Masjid Haram. And then you might need, once the salat starts and you are done, you're tired and exhausted, then to cross the rows and come out, that might take you half an hour. A salat, half an hour. So the thing is that choose a time, like night times, after Salat al-Isha, best time for Umrah, until Salamun hiya hatta matla al-Fajr. Or after Salat al-Fajr until Dhuhr. I do not choose Umrah, Umrah things after Salat al-Dhuhr. Neither before Salat al-Dhuhr, 1 hour before Salat al-Dhuhr. So before Salat al-Dhuhr, you go all the way after Salat al-Isha, I would not go there, because I will be stuck. Either I have to break my tawaf, break my this, break my that, and mess up things. Just smoothly do your tawaf without any worries. And that's why those who arrive in Makkah at night, because of the tadlil, shading, okay, at night you can travel. So just go to Madla. Some say, oh, we are tired from coming to the Safar of Medina. Let's rest and do rest. If you hit Salat al-Fajr, you are done. I mean, Salat al-Fajr before like Nafal time, there's an Adhan and there's the people. So you will be waiting there for a long time. Just get it done. Drink whatever monster you like. Get yourself energized. Do a nice wudu. Drink nice stuff and just go. Do it. Finish it off. If you want to rest, then the next chance is after Salat al-Fajr is done, after sunrise. Now, one slight problem after sunrise is there are people, they cannot tolerate the sun. That will be a bit cause of headache, especially if it's 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock when the sun starts to become sharper. That is the time where, so just go after Salat al-Fajr, finish it off before, or go before Fajr, pray Fajr there, and then start your tawaf and amal after Salat al-Fajr. Rest time, the time of great rewards. So these are your options. So do choose those times so you don't have to get into these kind of messes. So due to the congregation, salat in mess up in tawaf, interruptions and this and that and doubts and forgetfulness. One should continue immediately after the congregation salat from wherever exact point of stop. Now, exact point of stop, like when Allahu Akbar happened, yeah, it was not even in your mind. What is that? Like you did not have a measure tape. It is like away from the tawaf. 5 meters, and it is this one in front of Maqam. Nobody does like that. So you stood there in Salat, you got pushed here and there. So what happens? Just go few steps behind and continue where you stop. But there should be no gap. Remember, no gap is allowed between the rounds of Tawaf. This is an exceptional case. Salat Jama'ah. Not only Salat Jama'ah, not only Takbir, Allahu Akbar. No, the prerequisites of Salat Jama'ah, because once the prerequisites of Salat Jama'ah is there in the Haram and people, they sit down, you can't do. So as long as you can do, you continue your tawaf, do your tawaf. The moment they tell you to sit down, okay, the bed, sit down. Khalas, that's freeze on your spot. Make sure that you know where your spot is, so you come a few steps beyond it. And once the Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah happens, stand up and complete your tawaf. No gaps need to be left. If you leave a gap, better make it a 10 minutes gap or something like that. Chat with somebody and redo the whole tawaf back again. Like get out of the consistency. As I said, one of the three things. So this is something about the interruption. If you want, you can repeat the video. It is on YouTube, and you can get like more understanding of it. But these I have tried my best to simplify it and color code it as well. So remember, this green is interruption, unnecessary, necessary. Blue is forgetting. So what if somebody forgets some rounds? And remember, there's a difference between doubt and forgetting. Doubt means you don't know, you're in limbo, 50-50. Kiss your tawaf goodbye. Okay? Kiss your tawaf very well goodbye without any return. So that's doubt. I don't know, did I do 6? Did I do 7? Did I do 5? Did I do 4? Did I do... Once you come into that situation, just do that breaking of the consistency. Okay, even you don't need to break the consistency, but do it precautionary measure. Just wait 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Okay, talk to somebody, chit chat with somebody, and then come do the tawaf properly. That's why I said keep the count. Okay, so that is doubt. There's only one case where the doubt is valid. All the doubts, they invalid doubts and rounds. They invalidate your tawaf except one case. I'm going to mention that once we come to the pink area. Let's see the forgetfulness. First, please do not forget. But in case if you forget, if the consistency is not interrupted, what does that mean? That means there was no gap. You forgot, you went home, you had a nice hefty breakfast. Khalas, the moment you exit, the consistency is gone. Okay? So if the consistency is not interrupted, bring the forgotten rounds. You are still in the platform of tawaf, and oh my goodness, I forgot 2 rounds. Khalas, you have not even performed Salat Maqam Ibrahim. Because praying Salat Maqam Ibrahim, that breaks your consistency because you preoccupied yourself in something else. So you are there, only if you are doing your tawaf, you finished. Oh, I still have to do 2 more rounds. Or your friend told you, oh, we forgot 1 round. Okay, let's go do it. So if the consistency, if there was not too big gap in bringing the forgotten rounds, then so this is before the 4th round, for after the doesn't matter. As long as the consistency is there, you did not leave the platform, you did not leave a gap between the rounds. Okay, between the forgotten round and between the round you brought, you can perform your tawaf. If the consistency was lost, then we come to here, how many rounds you missed? 3 or less or more than 3? Oh, they say the Sistan is confusing us. There he said 4, now 3. Why does he have to give a new number? No, 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 no. It's not new number. Look at what he says. He says if you miss 3 or less, okay, 3, 2, 1. What does that mean? That means you did 4 rounds. So it is same rule of 4 rounds done. The missed one, either you missed the 5th, 6th, and 7th, or the 6th and 7th, or the 7th. You missed 1 round or 2 rounds or 3 rounds. So still it's 4 rounds. Okay, you don't have to be agitated, something like that, or agitated, or whatever the way they say it. So, so if 3 or less were forgotten, then one should complete it, because remember, 4th round done, you are okay. Consistency is lost, that's fine. You are almost there. But in case if you want to just give a gap, or like here, even there is a gap, the consistency is lost. He said completed. Okay, as long as it doesn't tell you to complete and then redo another one, you're okay. So this is a good news here. So if you are done with 4 and forgotten was 1 round, 2 round, 3 rounds, even if the consistency is lost, you left the platform, come back. Okay. Remember, number 1, if you leave the platform, you can come back. If you went out of the Masjid al-Haram, you can come back and continue. If more than 3 were missed, then one should complete and redo. This is where you can just do that preoccupy yourself with something and break that tawaf totally. You see, make sure that you break the tawaf totally. How? Preoccupying yourself in that period of time, get out of that place, preoccupy. So do two things because the consistency is lost. That means now you need to break it totally. So now you are going to intentionally preoccupy yourself or get out of the platform of tawaf. Okay. So this is something which you can do. Then you just have to redo the tawaf. If more than three were missed, then one should complete and redo. But if you complete and redo, then complete and pray 2 rakat salat of that one and redo. Why? Because more than three were missed. So what? That means your tawaf, when you complete, might be okay, might not be okay. So if you just bring those 4 rounds or 5 rounds forgotten, that means you have added, okay? I mean, your tawaf might not be valid. So if you say, let me do one full round. Yeah, but one full round, 7 plus 5, that makes it how much? How many? Like 7 and 5, 12 rounds. You added rounds in tawaf. Okay. So uh, just complete, pray 2 rakat, redo one more. That will be your valid tawaf. But don't break it. Otherwise, you'll keep doing it like that the whole night. Okay. Don't forget it. Sorry. Don't forget it. Make sure that you keep the count of your tawaf. So if someone accidentally increase a round with the intention of tawaf and realize that it was extra, then this extra round will cause invalidation of tawaf. Unless 6 more are added to complete the second round with the general intention of nearness. After that, should pray 4 rakat. Okay, like normally you pray 2 rakat. Once the seventh round is finished, then the 2 rakat. So he says 4 rakat, two for each. But where will you pray the 4 rakat? Not all the way at the end. No, the round you finish, then pray 2 rakat. You added on the one which was left over, and then so here what will happen? But you already, the scenario is different. You already are in the 8th round. So here Sayyid Sistani says, here you complete 6 more rounds and then pray 2 rakat and 2 rakat because you already added one. Those scenarios, no, you're going to complete and then do a new tawaf. So complete, pray 2 rakat and then new tawaf. Here in this case, you are in the 8th round. So either your tawaf becomes invalid or you add on it 6 rounds. Okay. If you want to be smart and just say, let me do on 7 rounds, that means 7 plus 8, 15 rounds will be there. So you have to do the way he says, complete and pray 2 rakat and bring the another one and pray 2 rakat. In this case, one round has been added with the intention of tawaf, and salat tawaf time should be before it. So now complete this, and once you are done, pray 2 rakat and 2 rakat together. So this is the difference between the scenario we mentioned before and the scenario here. Okay. So what if I want to just get rid of these 8 rounds totally? Do that. Do those two things which you mentioned before and get out of it totally. Invalidate your tawaf because I don't know whether. Uh, so how would you invalidate? Just pray 2 rakat in case that 7 rounds were okay, and then do a new one. You don't have to invalidate that tawaf totally by getting out of the because you did 8 rounds. Now you want to cancel those 8 rounds entirely. So just get out of it and start a new tawaf by getting out when I mentioned that do those two things. That's the safe side to remember that break the cup totally. So don't get lost in that. Okay. So if someone accidentally increased a round with the intention of tawaf and realized that was extra, then this extra round will cause invalidation of tawaf unless six more rounds are to complete a second tawaf with the general intention of nearness. After that, one should pray to rakat. And it says invalidation. So, anyways, you can just get out because the tawaf is invalid. Okay, and give a break 10 minutes to confirm the invalidation, or get out of the platform of tawaf, do one of those two things just to make sure that you invalidated, you emphasize on the invalidation, because it says it will cause invalidation. 8 rounds, there is no tawaf 8 rounds. So but if you want to maintain that, add 6 on it. So you'll get thawab on that. And your sixth round plus one, 7 rounds will be that. But many times people, there's so khichdi na, harisa, khabisa, all those kind of things. Just if you want to just break it totally, get out of the platform of tawaf, preoccupy yourself with something else other than tawaf, leave a gap, and then come and do a fresh new tawaf. Okay, just to not to let you confuse, then you're going to doubt, oh, I don't know, did I do the second one right or not, and this and that, and was the first round connected, was the salat the first round? I know some of our beloved ones, they have this doubt problems. So this is the easiest way. Just get out. By the way, say this Sistan says, if someone has abnormal condition of doubts, they call it kathiru shak, then we tell them, just ignore your doubt. Everything, wallah, you have a, mashallah, privilege card. Your platinum card. Whatever you do, not held accountable. You see, if you have this problem of abundance in doubt, doubting, abnormally, not like normal people, you have, Allah has said, khalas, consider whatever you do is correct. Shaitan doesn't want you to. Shaitan wants to mess up with your mind. Allah says, okay, no problem. You're trying your best. Khalas, you don't have to. Unless if you have yaqeen, certainty that you did wrong, fix that yaqeen. But you come to me, I think, I said, no, don't tell me I think. Maybe, I said, no maybes and no babies, okay? But I'm sure that I did not bring the last round, but I have little. Uh, 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 don't you go there. Don't tell me. Just tell me I'm sure, 100%. If you're not sure, then don't talk to me. Then your things are correct. But if you're sure, talk to me, and you're not going to lie to me. Some of the youth, they want to make sure that so they, I'm pretty sure. And how pretty? Like, like 98. I want 100% from you. Even 98%, as long as there's 2% of doubt, I don't want it. I want you to tell me 100% I missed a round. Then come to me. Otherwise, you are okay. Allah has given you a golden card, platinum card. Just complete. You don't have to be worrying about this thing. So this is number blue. One thing I want to add in number blue, I mean not number blue, the zone blue, adding one round. After you do 7 rounds, before you pray your 2 rakat salat al-tawaf, if you want to do 1 or 2 rounds as a blessing, barakah, not as part of tawaf, not with the intention of tawaf, just for a blessing purpose, or to touch the corners of the Kaaba, that's fine, you can do it. It won't be 8 rounds. No. You had made your intention on 7 rounds. Your intention was 7 rounds. And you are aware that your 7 rounds were done. Halas. What is left? Salat al-Tawaf. Make sure not to leave more than 10 minutes gap between your end of the Tawaf, 7th round, and between Salat al-Tawaf. Make sure. Remember, coming from up to down kind of time, we said 10 minutes gap. Make sure. So once you are you know that I'm going to just 2 minutes for 1 round of Kaaba just to get blessings, ask Allah istighfar and this and that. Because while I was doing wajib tawaf, I was focusing on the small big things. Okay, but now I'm relieved. let me just kiss Hajar al-Aswad or whatever, don't kiss Hajar al-Aswad. If you get injured, your bleeding starts and you still have to do Tawaf al-Nisa, and you have to do Salat Tawaf al-Nisa, and you have to do the 2 rakat Tawaf. So don't mess up yourself. Don't put yourself in places where you can get injured. So just do a round Barakati Tawaf, and that's it. When you want to do the Battle of Badr and Battle of Uhud and Khaybar and Hajar al-Aswad, just make sure that you are done with your wajib things. So this is something about adding extra round with the intention of barakah, qurba, because every round you do, there's tawaf. For the recommended tawaf, you can do niyabat as many you want. And you can add, like, this first round is niyabat from my father. Not tawaf, I'm talking round, 7 rounds. First round for my father, or no, my mother. My mother comes first round for my mother. Second round for my father. Let's say your family members are 7. So you do instead of doing 7 tawafs, instead of saying, Ya Allah, I'm doing the 7th tawaf on behalf of, I'm going to do each round of my tawaf on behalf of one family member. You can do this. You can put 7 rounds on behalf of millions of people. Excuse me. Recommended tawaf is a free zone for you, and even salat on recommended tawaf is not necessary. If you do it, that's fine, you'll get reward. Let's come to our final point and we finish our session. Doubt in the numbers of rounds. If you are abundant doubting person, this is nothing for you. This is not for you. Okay, just whatever. I don't know, this 5th or 4th. What do you think? What do you want? 4th? 4th, khalas, that's it. Allah will accept. No, are you trying to make me happy? No, Baba, this is your obligation from the hadith of Ahl al-Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, which Marja tells you to follow, otherwise you are going to be violating your law. Your case is special. Your obligation is special. Your obligation is consider whatever. If you use this as your obligation and you create more mess in your mind, then you'll be in more and more trouble. Ignore your doubt. I want to consider 4, khalas 4. I want to consider 5, khalas 5. But maybe it's 4. Forget, don't tell me maybe. So if you have abundance in doubts, forget what I'm going to say now. Consider whatever you do, okay. But if you're not, if you have normal doubt phenomena, or and these normal doubts, some person is abundance in doubt in tawaf, but in salah, mashallah, is okay. Some is opposite. So it's not black and white. If you have abundance in doubt in one area, then you are khalas in every area. No. Any doubt about the number of the rounds or the validity of the tawaf, my tawaf was correct or not correct, doubt, after completing the tawaf or losing its consistency, is negligible. You also, the normal doubting person, if you have finished your tawaf and you have left the platform of tawaf, or you have started chatting with somebody, or you have left a big gap, or you have prayed salat al-tawaf, khalas, your tawaf is okay. What if I was in the platform of tawaf? So if you're doubting that your 5 rounds were correct or not correct, and you are in the 6th round, you will consider those 5 rounds correct. If you're doubting in the 6th round and you are in the 7th round, you're so as long as you pass the station of the doubtful thing, you are okay. But if you are in the station of doubtful place, then you have to see whether it's fixable or not fixable. So this is the rule for the tawaf. If after being sure about completion of 7th round, okay, I know for sure I did 7 rounds, but I don't know this is the 8th round or not. Okay, after completion of 7th round, there was a doubt in the last round of being 8th before completing the round. Then the tawaf will be invalid. Complete the past and redo it. Or just do one of those 2 things and get out of the tawaf totally, just break the tawaf at all and do one nice genuine tawaf. Okay? So this is if you completed You don't know this was the 7th or 8th. Khalas, it was 7th. You're done. But if you're during the tawaf, okay, then 7th or 8th, kiss your tawaf goodbye. If you don't know, I'm increasing or decreasing. I don't know. This is 6th, so I'll be decreasing. Or 8th, so I'll be increasing. Or 7th, I'll be doing nothing. So that also, if you're during the tawaf, kiss your tawaf goodbye. So rule of doubt is easy. Rules of doubt. If you doubt in the rounds during, finish. Every doubt in the number of the rounds between 7 and 8 invalidates the tawaf. Invalidates the tawaf. Every doubt in the number of the rounds between 7 and 8 invalidates the tawaf. The only time it is okay if you complete the round and you doubt whether this was 7th or 8th, you complete it, finish. In this case, you can complete one round and do another one. So maybe that round was okay. So then the tawaf will be invalid. Complete the pass and redo it. This was all what we wanted to mention about the tawaf. Go back to the different videos. Sa'i is remaining, but I have already explained. Sa'i, Safa and Marwa is not that problematic or even the Salatul Tawaf. There are a few things. I may record it and post it on our YouTube channel under the playlist of UMRAH MUFRADA. So if you have time, you can go through it, inshallah. And hopefully, Allah will accept our amal. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ghafurur Rahim. But then we have to follow the law. The law, many times, they're tough, but they are also sometimes lenient if you have done your things properly. So make sure that you do your ignorance is not intentional ignorance. Learn these things. And then I gave you some easy ways to fix your tawaf. Just break your tawaf totally and get a new one instead of, oh, I complete and then redo and this and that. That's it. Any questions? وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. For those who are watching us on YouTube, inshallah, I'll try to make a video on sa'i and video on salat al-tawaf and taqsir. So sa'i, taqsir, salat al-tawaf, sa'i, taqsir, and tawaf al-nisa is same like this, but just the intention is different. وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله الطيبين